Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, are the Lakers expecting too much from LeBron James? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be on the lookout for our Dreamerspro premium community. I appreciate a lot of the feedback that you guys have been giving us. If you guys haven't seen any of the polls yet, be sure to check it out on our community section on the channel and just go leave us your feedback. Whatever you guys put, we'll greatly appreciate that. Anyway, let me get into the content here because this is a very important video to me. So listen, I've spoken in the past about just the amount of respect that I have for LeBron James, for the level of dedication and commitment that he puts forward to his craft. I think is remarkable. I also appreciate the fact that LeBron seems to be a very serious guy. You rarely hear any foolish kind of stories coming out about the guy because he seems like somebody, number one, that understands his position in the NBA and his role as the face of the league. He has to carry himself a certain way. Now, obviously, he's not perfect. No one is, right? And there's certain things we can criticize about him, and you can say that about any one of us. Me, you, anyone here. No one is infallible. No one is above reproach. Everyone can be criticized on some level. But nevertheless, I appreciate how seriously he takes his work. I appreciate the fact that he seems to be very, very focused, and I like that about the guy. To be at the age of 36 years old in the shape that he's in. Go look back at former players at that age. A lot of these guys let themselves go, but he's really dedicated to really securing his position in as far as in the hierarchy for the greatest players of all time. So I appreciate that. Now, listen, the Lakers have been having a great season so far this season. Overall, they've pretty much had the number 2 or number 1 record for the entire season in the Western Conference. LeBron statistically has been amazing, and in fact, as the games have been going on, his numbers have actually been getting better, which is crazy to think about. For the season, he's averaging 25.5 points per game. He's shooting 50% from the field, so the guy is shooting the best he shot from the field in the past 2 years. To be quite honest with you, he's shooting 35.5% from the 3-point line. That's the best he shot in 4 years. He's shooting 70% from the free throw line. That's the best free throw shooting percentage he's shot again in 4 years. You got to go all the way back to Cleveland to find him shooting a higher percentage. He's averaging 8.2 rebounds, which is, to me, is fantastic. Let's just be honest. That's a lot of rebounds to average a game. I wish Kawhi averaged 8.2 rebounds, but nevertheless, that's still very impressive. And he's getting you 8.1 assists with 1 steal per game. So listen, the guy's putting up fantastic numbers, and he's one of the candidates for regular season MVP, in my opinion, one of the leading candidates. And given the fact that his co-star has gone out, I think it's even more so the case. The Lakers as a team have been one of the top 5 defensive and offensive rated teams. They're a great defensive team. There's no two ways about it. They played a game against the Brooklyn Nets where they didn't have some of their best defenders in Dennis Schroeder. I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly, and Anthony Davis. Obviously Anthony Davis, who I believe a year ago could have won Defensive Player of the Year. So they were missing 2 great defensive players, and the Nets didn't go off for like 150 points per game, right? But the Lakers are missing 2 key defensive players on that team. So they're a pretty balanced team offensively and defensively, right? Sometimes they're not a great 3-point shooting team, but the Lakers do have some great team statistics. If you look at, for example, their top 5 in field goal percentage, they're number 1 in the NBA in blocks per game, which is also which is also admirable. So they have certain statistical regions of basketball that they're leading in. But listen, they've recently had some issues, right? They've recently lost 3 games in a row, right? Now, there's some things I want to get to. Let's talk about Anthony Davis. All right. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I just don't believe that Anthony Davis is going to be that dude for the Lakers. First of all, let's talk about AD's lack of aggression. You can't be considered like Shannon Sharpe, and some people say. You can't get like Shannon Sharpe earlier in the season when he was drinking the Kool-Aid saying AD is the second best player in the world. You're out of your brain if you believe that Anthony Davis is the second best player in the world. There's no conversation, nowhere in the world that anybody's going to take you seriously if you think that Anthony Davis is better than Kevin Durant. If you think Anthony Davis is better than Kevin Durant, then you got some serious problems. And if you think that Anthony Davis is better than Kawhi Leonard, again, you got some serious problems. Anthony Davis is not on the level of those dudes. Period. End of story. He's not even in the same classroom with those guys. You can't even compare them with the KD. No one will take you seriously if you believe that AD is better than Kevin Durant at all. He's not. And now you're seeing it, right? The things that separates Anthony Davis and those guys is their approach to the game. Anthony Davis has regressed this season. No one wants to talk about it. Laker fans don't want to talk about it, but it's the bloody reality, right? Laker fans will jump out of the window and tell you about how poorly Paul George is bouncing back. He's having a better year this year than he had last year. We can't say the same thing for AD. AD last season he's averaging 4 less points per game, 4 less points per game, yet you're playing with an older LeBron James. You would expect for him to be more aggressive, and you would expect LeBron's numbers to go down, but it's been the reverse. It's actually been the reverse, which to me is disappointing. He's shooting a lower 3-point. He's shooting below 30% from the 3 this season. He's shooting almost 15 percentage points worse from the free throw line. Explain that to me. How is this even possible that he's shooting so poorly from the free throw line? He's averaging 1 less rebound per game. He's averaging less steals, and he's averaging less blocks. So listen, Anthony Davis has taken a step back, and as a result is causing LeBron James to do more than he ought to be doing at this stage of his career. It's absurd to me that this guy's regressed, and that's why I said I don't believe that he's that dude for the Lakers franchise. He's not a cornerstone player for the Lakers franchise. As a Kobe Bryant fan, I know what the hell I'm talking about. As Laker fans there are different Laker fans out there. They're obviously Kobe fans, and they're also Laker fans. If you're a Laker fan, right, and you're a true Laker fan, you know exactly what I'm saying is the absolute truth. There's no Laker fan that will seriously tell you that they look at Anthony Davis and say, this is going to be the guy to lead our franchise moving forward. He's not. He's not the guy. Like, he's just not the guy. I don't think he's built that way. Some people said that, Anthony Davis is pacing himself. How can a 27-year-old basketball player be pacing himself? Does that even make any kind of sense to you? What are you pacing yourself for? It's not like as if you have mileage on your body. So what are you pacing yourself for? Why is it that other guys that were 27 years old, just like you, can play more than you in the past, but you can't play now, but yet there's supposed to be more medical advances, more science, more methodologies to improve recovery, but yet you can't play more games. So how is he resting? Resting more for what? Right? Conserving his body for what? Look at your mate. Look at LeBron. LeBron is almost 10 years older than you, and he's playing way more than you. What are you talking about? He's pacing himself. Pacing himself for what? Has Anthony Davis been to 10 NBA finals? No. So what is he pacing himself for? I don't get that argument when people try to make that. I think it's just people trying to baby the guy and say, he's pacing himself for what? Look at his numbers. These are your numbers that you're averaging this season, you need to do the opposite of pacing yourself. You need to go out there and try to increase your productivity and help your team win. Pacing yourself is a sorry excuse to use for somebody to use to say, he's pacing himself. I can't think of a 27-year-old LeBron James or Kobe Bryant pacing themselves, right? That's why I said this guy is not cut from that cloth. He cannot carry that franchise. He doesn't have the mentality. He doesn't have the mentality of somebody that can carry the Lakers franchise. He's not that dude. I don't believe Anthony Davis is that dude at all. I don't believe he's that dude. He's too finesse. I don't think he's that dude. Really, I don't believe it. And last year, you got to see AD play well because he was playing with LeBron. Now, some people, again, felt the type of way. Real LeBron James fans know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all know that the difference is LeBron. How do I know? If you put Anthony Davis on that team and you put another star, like maybe a Bradley Beal or maybe a Paul George, you don't get the same result. You don't. They're not going and winning the finals. But if you put LeBron James, then you have a different outcome, right? LeBron is one of the top 10 greatest players of all time. So obviously LeBron can do more for AD than AD could do for LeBron, right? LeBron had been to, I think, 9 NBA finals at the time. He already won 3 NBA championships. So when people felt away, I'm not saying, listen, LeBron could not have won that title without Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis couldn't win a bloody thing without LeBron. How do we know? Look at the history. It's not something to get emotional about. I think only emotional viewers will feel a type of way about this. But if you're honest and you're sober, you're going to say, wait a minute, what this guy's saying is the absolute truth. Right? LeBron, I think the Lakers are running the risk of playing LeBron James too much. The guy is 36 years old. He is a human being. He may want to catch Kareem. He may want to catch Jordan, all of these different stats, but it's not smart. And now that they lost 3 games in a row, I think they need to start sitting LeBron for some of these games. It's not like as if the Lakers are going to miss the playoffs. It doesn't matter what seed they go into the playoffs with. They're going to beat any seed. They can beat pretty much almost everybody in the Western Conference, right? The Clippers are going to be a tough out. The Utah Jazz are going to be tough out, and obviously some other teams they're going to be pretty tough in the playoffs. But I don't think the Lakers need to be playing LeBron these many games. It's just ridiculous. Really, I remember when Kobe ruptured his Achilles tendon, he was playing about 40 minutes per game, and he was about, 34 years old. What is the purpose of all of this? Okay, they need to sit him. Listen, the Clippers have won games without their star players. They've won games without Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and sometimes without 3 starters. Why can't the Lakers do the same? Okay, sit the guy and play these games and try to win some of these games. You should be able to win some games. If the Lakers are so good, they should be able to win some games without LeBron. The Clippers have been doing it all season. As I told you before, Kawhi has missed a third of the season. Paul George has missed a third of the season. Patrick Beverley has missed a third of the season. So what is the big issue here that they can't win these games without LeBron? But the constant need for consistently continuing to play the guy at the advanced age of 36 years old. You don't need LeBron for the regular season. You should be saving him for the playoffs. Now, unfortunately, Anthony Davis is going to be gone for the next month, and we understand that. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that they need to run this guy into the ground. I think it's unfair to the guy. Now, maybe obviously he wants to play all of these games because of his approach. LeBron is not thinking about pacing himself. That's why, again, Anthony Davis is not cut from that same cloth. I keep saying it. He's not cut from that cloth. AD is not top 10 player of all time material. It's not just about your skill and your ability. It's also about your approach to the game. And he's not cut from that same cloth. So for me, I think it's ridiculous. I think Laker fans need to really sit down and try to understand exactly what's going on. So what I want to think from you guys is, number one, do you think that the Lakers are expecting too much from LeBron James? And also, what are your thoughts, honest Laker fans? Not the emotional bunch. We don't really need your commentary, but the honest bunch. Please tell me, what do you think about this thing that I'm saying about Anthony Davis? Because to me, I just don't see him as being that guy. To be quite honest with you, I don't see him as being that guy. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.